What is good, YouTube? We got a video from someone I haven't seen before on YouTube. As always, we're gonna watch and we're going to see how we feel about the content. See if we want to subscribe. As always, free follow, like. This is the viewer effect paradox. As someone into psychological and like mental things, I'd like to see what this video is about. I listened to like the first few seconds when I clicked on it, so I'm assuming by definition, it's not like an AI voice, so this would be tough. I think some people would constantly do is watch a scene from their own personal perspective instead of analyzing the character's internal thoughts. That is real. In this video, I go over a phenomenon I like to call a viewer effect to hopefully help some people who watch better appreciate the scenes for their writing. All right, we're gonna tap in. We got the viewer effect paradox. As always, the main man slide onto your timeline and provide you some content. And without further ado, slide right in.
Have you ever watched a superhero scene and thought to yourself, why did Spider-Man just let the robber run away?
No.
Or why wouldn't Spider-Man try and catch Gwen with his body instead of...
Yeah, but I don't know. That one, I think it's more justifiable than the first one. The first one, they're shocked. I don't know who this guy is. And after everything he just went through, good riddance. This one is, he gets a little bit of credit because adrenaline situation. But then there's also, you're a superhero. People's lives are always at stake. So you have the ability to think on your toes. You get what I'm saying? But it was meant to show his inexperience. So I don't question this one too much, you know?
directly with the web? Or how could Quicksilver, the man whose perception is so fast he sees in nearly slow motion, die to bullet? Oh, okay, that one
No,
doesn't
that's
make
actually
much
bad
sense.
writing.
You didn't see that coming.
But I think it's something a lot of fans do, myself
Yeah,
included.
facts.
I like to call it the viewer effect. The viewer effect
Okay.
can be described as a cognitive disconnect in storytelling, where the audience interprets a character's actions using their own emotionally detached logic.
I do. Holy stutter. I do agree with this. Something that I also think happens too, which is like, I think a subset of this, so this fully encapsulates it as well. But I think people like to just I consider battles, whether psychological, emotional, or physical, as cooking. You know, the person is the chef, their experience goes to like their stats. Their stats converts to experience now that they're a chef, and then their ingredients, essentially their bag, everything they know, everything they can use, etc. A lot of people take out the experience of the chef or the character in question, and as the viewer effect states, put themselves in the chef's position, and they go, well, he has this bag, he has these ingredients, why don't he just make this dish? Maybe he doesn't know about his dish because of his experiences. You know, certain things matter narratively, and I feel like a lot of people let things like that fly out the window.
Instead of the character's internal, in-the-moment psychological reality. In other words, we know it's fake. There is no adrenaline running through our body. We're sitting on the couch with a bag of chips. It's easy to pick and poke at what you would do versus truly analyzing a scene from a character's perspective and emotions, and that's the topic I want to go into in today's video. The first example of this I want to take a look at is Green Ghost from Invincible, but to do that we need to look at who she is as a character. Her name is Elena Adams. She's a regular human photographer that came across the Green Ghost stone. It's not directly stated how long she's been on the team, but we know Nolan's been on Earth for roughly 20 years, and he fought with the original Green Ghost, so we can speculate somewhere between the range of 5 to 10 or so. She gets an emergency call to meet at Guardians HQ, but as she arrives, everyone else is just as stunned as her when they realize that nobody there sent it in. This is where we need to start analyzing her headspace. With a clear sense of unease and confusion, they have no idea what to expect. But before they even have a chance to plan anything, Omni-Man comes in flying at the Immortal's head, and if it wasn't for Red Rush's enhanced perception, his brain would have been de-atomed.
And I like this. I hate when the niggas that have super speed push him out the way to get hit when he can do what Red Rush just did. I like that.
Everybody is stunned to see Nolan as the culprit of the attack.
See, but yeah, this is where the viewer effect takes place. Because in my mind, I'm not thinking about their psyche. I'm thinking about their job. And I'm going, oh, you have a lot of experience. Like, attack him. Maybe he's being mind controlled. Subdue him. Not, pack him up, but like subdue him. You feel me? But again, taking into effect their psyche. Yeah, what are you doing, bro? We've been working together for like, you know what I'm saying, 15 plus years, bro. You good, bro?
To War Woman.
It's like the Superman of their verse.
First. Now, we don't know this for certain, but we can imagine they're holding back a little because they don't understand the actual gravity.
I'm not holding back. This is the Superman of the verse. I'm not holding back. It's like, I didn't blame Mark for what happened with Angstrom leaving, and I'm someone who supports the no-kill rules that the heroes have. I'm not holding back when it's like a Superman, because like if I pack him up, that's on me. But I'm not gonna do this fictional thing that happens in stories where like they're fighting them, they have the edge, and they just keep punching them until like they brutalize them and they die. I'm not doing that, but I'm not holding back. I'm going to whoop this out of you to my best capabilities, and if I can't, I'm giving it my all because I could lose this at any second. He just opened this fight with almost taking our second get a Superman's head clean off his shoulders. Come on,
of
bro.
The situation.
But I think he's right.
No look caught Red Rush's hand and then smushed.
Where are we at? See, this is where Green Ghost touches him, makes him intangible so Red Rush can get out the way. This is where Immortal speed blitzes, you know what I'm saying, War Woman. But again, their best friend's about to die, and he's about to die to him. So psychologically, they could just be bitches. No disrespect to them, but it could just be like cowards, so to speak. Because a lot of their fights is never against people of their strength level. It's always lower, and Omni-Man is the one to probably bail them out. She's like the Superman of the verse at this time. So it's like, I can see the shock. Like, oh, I can't do nothing. I can't even, in the back of the mind, I can't even beat this thing. We're cooked. But to me, I have experienced enough of my fight or flight to go, I'm fighting. But again, you have to put yourself in their shoes. Flight might be their mindset.
His head like the 1,000 Rubber Band versus Watermelon videos, they knew they had a lock in. And something else I want to note is that up until this point, Green Ghost is the only person to not
She hasn't done anything. Yeah, but she's a photographer.
Throw any strike. She has been completely intangible.
All these other people are warriors, aliens. They fight for a living. That's like their main job.
The whole time, trying to stay away from Omni-Man. While her powers aren't great offensively, the real problem comes with the fact that becoming intangible requires
What do they mean? Make her vulnerable as in she loses her intangibility?
extreme concentration, and on top of that, her only other abilities are flight and enhanced durability. So pair that up with the emotional confusion of the situation and the fact that she is a true human that is gaining the powers from an object. She requires to swallow a stone and throw it back up to be normal again. And finally, she also lacks the amount of combat experience as her other teammates, such as the Immortal or War Woman. We then see everybody,
even the Fish, he's like a king of like the Atlantis of the verse. He's like the Aquaman.
in absolute shock after watching Red Rush's brain turn into
Why do we let him get turned into mush though? Look at the damage he was putting in. And I don't think this is damage. I think it's his own blood. But like, he got to run the infinite mass punch. This is where we start. And this is what I'm saying. They haven't punched with anyone of their weight grade or higher. This is where Red Rush takes momentum, picks up someone like Immortal, runs him out, speeds him through, and like essentially throws him at Omni-Man. And Immortal got to, you know, let's try to kill the nigga, bro. Come on. I mean, not kill him, try to subdue him. Ugh. And then Darkwing is so much sorrier than Batman because he has nothing in his kit to hold Omni-Man down. Here, it could have held him down, but Pete, they waited till Red Rush was cooked. And yes, Red Rush is the fastest, but look at how when Omni-Man blitzed, Immortal reacted to the blitz just after Red Rush. So, Immortal and War Woman are somewhat relative. Knowing that they both had the perception, because it took Omni-Man a minute to crush at his head, they both have the speed to have tried to interfere. And then it could have wrapped them up. And then once that happens, they just beating on it. While that's happening, Darkwing needs to be... He's not doing... If y'all didn't peep, he hasn't thrown a single attack yet. And you could argue he hasn't had the chance to, but at this time, you need to start signaling others. Yo, Omni-Man might be mind control. I don't know, but he tried to kill Red Rush. He only got saved because and his whole cover's blown.
strawberry applesauce.
Like,
They
come
stop
on,
pulling
gang.
their punches and try giving it everything they got, but Omni-Man is just too
Damn, this comboing is stupid.
applesauce. They stop
Punches him into
pulling their
War
punches
Woman.
and try
War
giving
Woman
it
punches him away from Immortal.
everything they got.
When if she would have hit him into Immortal, they could just band for band. Mind you, she got the huge club. She should have been gave that to Red Rush because he don't have super strength. And I'm sure it's heavy, but it can't. Hopefully, it's not that heavy. Then it can just run with it really fast, and it has durability similar to Omni-Man, being that it was able to damage him without it breaking. And it Red Rush max speed. They could have really that's where they lost. They lost at letting Red Rush get beat because he's the only one on the team who doesn't really have a weakness, or he has the least vulnerabilities. When it comes to War Woman and Immortal, they don't have weaknesses either, but they're just combatants. They're like soldiers. Their stats are just much higher than other people, but their stats aren't much higher than Omni-Man. So their advantages get canceled out here, and with no weaknesses and no advantages, that alone kind of becomes a weakness. It's like just boxing, and Omni-Man has way more experience. You get what I'm saying? So letting Red Rush get packed up, worst thing that could have happened. Worst thing that could have happened. Genuinely.
But Omni-Man is just too strong and too fast.
He already knows the Martian
It's
is
then when
weakness.
Darkwing tries to catch Omni-Man off guard until he catches his
Throws the projectiles because you don't have the durability to hang with him. And then you decide to go close range. Like,
foot.
these
hits him
are
twice on the
stupid,
ground
bro.
and pops him like a balloon, throwing him into Green Ghost's hand as she catches.
And now he took her out of commission because her concentration is gone. Because if she didn't catch him, one of her best friends would have flew off. Body would have got desecrated from the fall. This is good IQ from Omni-Man. He has high battle IQ, and personally, no disrespect to them, their battle IQ is pretty subpar. No disrespect. We see it even in the first encounter. They were like kind of hard carried by their abilities.
The body of her lifeless friend. This is the part where most people say it's a mistake, as she should have stayed intangible with Omni-Man to just fly right through her and stay.
Once she caught him, it was over. And once he caught Red Rush, it was over. And once this stupid, it's so many bad decisions back to back. Darkwing throws the projectiles, which shows that he has enough IQ to realize he can't hang close range. So he should have just stayed support. Omni-Man would have tried to take advantage of that and blitz him. And since there's no Red Rush, he would have still died regardless. But if Red Rush was there, you have Darkwing and the water running support. And then you have Red Rush running the support to keep them alive because he's now having their speed be greater than Omni-Man's. He's like the speed buff for the team, as he doesn't have the durability or attack power to damage Omni-Man. And then you have the niggas that can damage him. Just keep the nigga busy. And then the Martian wrap him up. Keep moving his little core so we can't kill him. And with two just putting pressure on you, and you not being able to take away someone who can restrain you, along with them throwing support and running coverage, easy dub. Green Ghost wouldn't even have to do nothing. But no. And again, I don't think it's as much of a debuff on them. Besides this Darkwing thing, that was really stupid. Other than that, and then I guess Red Rush trying to blitz Omni-Man, they don't really have any anti-feats in terms of their IQ. And War Woman hitting him away from Immortal, ruining the combo chain. Other than that, they have no really debuffs to their IQ. It's just Omni-Man's battle IQ is higher.
In the battle. But if
They're
you
really
take into
beats for
account
Omni-Man.
everything that I have said earlier in this video, you would understand that it is completely
It's nothing for her to do
reasonable
right here.
for her
Yeah.
to react
And
this
Omni-Man
way.
knew that.
Looking at this from the character's perspective, not only for Green Ghost, but for all of the Guardians of the Globe in this fight.
And now we're throwing projectiles. Where were those projectiles earlier? He should have backed up Darkwing's projectiles, made them faster. Look at the water pressure he's hitting them with. On top of that, stop shooting huge volumes of water. Cut that even more on some piercing blood. You
Makes
feel
it
me?
make a whole lot more sense as to how they were able to be dispatched so easily
No,
by
for sure.
Omni-Man. And in
Omni-Man
my
has
opinion,
insane battle
is the thing
IQ.
that people overlook the most when they say it doesn't make sense.
No, it does make sense.
Another moment I want to take a look at is probably the most debated MCU moment that I can think of, and it's Peter
Star-Lord
Quill punching Thanos while they're trying to take the glove off. If you don't know the Infinity War timeline, I cannot lie, I'm not explaining that. The movie's 30,000 years old, you gotta catch up. But a lot of people
Facts.
think it's super goofy and just bad writing that he punches him while they're so
It's not bad writing, it's good writing. The writers have the right to do whatever they want to do with the character, and doing something like that for his character made Peter seem more realistic. And it's realistic in the way that they want him to be portrayed, and that is as an emotional human. That's like been his character arc through the Guardians movies as well. He's the glue that keeps the team together, and for a lot of them, they're finding humanity. Drax lost his family. The other girl, Mantis, alien, doesn't really have emotions for real. Worked with the group to help figure that out. Gamora, child of Thanos, raised to be a cold-blooded killer. Like, Quill is the glue for the team. Him and Groot, I guess you could say. And it's like, knowing that this was good for his character, it fleshed out the emotion on him. You feel me? So I don't blame them for writing this in, but now looking at it from the biased viewer effect perspective, it's like, what an idiot, bro. What an absolute idiot.
Close to literally saving the fate of Earth and everything. I'm gonna dive into why it not only makes sense emotionally, but two, it fits in with Peter Quill's character, honestly, perfectly. Before Star-Lord starts pistol whipping the shit out of Thanos, we need.
Also, we don't know. Strange said there's only one possibility in which they win, but you know,
to take into account that he just found out that his girl, his main squeeze, was sacrificed by her supposed father for the devious.
See, but then this is where it like comes into, it depends on how you think, and that's where viewer effect becomes strongest, because like you can't make the decision for the character. You have to think from the character's like mental. The rest of us who have like doubts about the decision, is like, oh, I would have let them take the Golem off him. And now that we're like on equal footing, you have a little bit of super strength, but we're on equal footing. I fought with super strength. I'm going to beat the shit out of you. We're keeping you in prison for the rest of your life. Like, ooh, you feel me? That's my type of revenge. If I were to be a vengeful type person, but he, he's a human. That's like his whole thing. He's the emotional part of the group.
Master universe domination plan. So understandably,
even more so than
Spider-Man. And he tries to reason with him, telling him, tell me if you did it or not. And he has the audacity, look him straight in the eyes and tell him, I had to.
He didn't say, I did. My fault. I had to.
You had to? Something else we need to take into account is Star-Lord's whole life of trauma. He watched his mother die as a child and was kidnapped right after.
And his father had a detachment from his mother and from him and viewed them as like lesser beings. And here comes Thanos doing the same for his adopted daughter. You feel me? Narratively, for his character, he had to do that. It makes sense.
And spent years trying to escape from that. And Gamora was the one that grounded him and kept him stable, kept him sane. And after hearing that news, in his mind, he had nothing else to lose at this point. Everything he wanted was gone. But here's the thing. Star-Lord punching Thanos isn't just emotionally understandable, it's consistent with his character. It matches everything we know about his personality. He is impulsive, he is reactive.
Jason as a middle name?
His entire time we've seen him with the Guardians of the Galaxy, he has led with emotion, not strategy. This dude is not Kratos. This is the same guy who immediately
the joint with his dad, and then also goes into the joint with his interaction with Thor. He immediately got all like, oh no, I'm the leader of the group. He didn't think strategically. A good leader knows when to step back. The same way Batman and a lot of like the harsh moments in the Justice League history has sometimes relinquished control to throw it to who? Nightwing. Someone who can emotionally connect with is more, who can lead, and sometimes in ways that are like different and in some ways better than the way he can lead. Stuff like that's important. But that emotionalness there also like is like foreshadowing to this. And I think this whole scene with his dad is foreshadowing to how he reacted.
Tried to shoot his father when he learned what he did to his mom. The same guy who tried to grab the Power Stone barehanded. And the same guys whose tactical diversions are dance-offs, bro. Like, what?
Yeah.
Someday. What are you doing?
But why I'm saying this is because Star-Lord has never come up with some mastermind strategic plan in any of his biggest moments.
And again, thematically, he's supposed to be emotional. Even Spider-Man legit here is not thematically emotional. He has emotional scenes, but his whole thing is like responsibility. His whole thing is getting the job done. Even after the joint with the Goblin, he wanted to pack that up. There's emotion for you, but it's more of, that's my responsibility to get rid of him. He's right. He can take lives, and I can't stop him with kitty gloves on. You get what I'm saying? It's like, that's very different than the path that Star-Lord has taken as like a leader. So you consider everyone there, the cold and kind of calculating Sorcerer Supreme, the cold, calculating, but emotional Tony Stark, who has something to fight for now. Very different situation than the overly emotional, like, kind of man-child leader. I don't mean that in a disrespectful way. I think all of us should keep like a little bit of kid in us in terms of who we are and personality-wise. But you feel me? That guy just lost his world. Any choice he makes, to me, therefore becomes understandable. But then I can also look at it from a perspective that's not my own and go like, it was kind of dumbassery. You feel me? I can see it from his perspective, and I can see it from another perspective.
In his MCU arc, he has always acted on impulse and his emotions first. So thinking he would suddenly go against his entire character arc just because it's Thanos and it's really important is a ridiculous thought. That
goes against his character. Every time it's important, thematically he stays himself. That's the entire point of the story.
It makes absolute sense that this happened, but a lot of people don't think of it that way because they see it from the base point of view. So trying to change your perspective and take into account his traumatic past, his impulsive history, and the fact that he is still half human and his emotional intelligence is just as good as yours or mine, it makes absolute sense as to why he would freak out like that. And I, again, think it fits his character more than if he was to say calm, cool, and collected, because it would go against the entire philosophy of a character that fans have come to know.
Yeah, because also, like, what would they do for him narratively after they beat Thanos? Like, it's done. Like, there's nothing else I can do for his character. It's like, it'd be rushing his character arc coming to a conclusion, almost. And then everything you write subsequently from that point onward holds less value, because, like, his character's practically complete. Like I said in the other video we watched about terrible character villain redemptions, there's the displacement of it, good from bad, or good to good, or bad to bad, or bad to good. Those are only 4 displacements you can have, and the distance you take is what determines whether it was a good character growth or not, good character development or not. And for him to go from impulsive, which most people would consider bad, to collected, it's a good, okay, this is a chance for character development. But then that's rushed and done in a movie where the fate of the universe on the line is forced. Now you can't flush him out as ignorant any longer because he's made that huge decision. And if you do make him ignorant and like emotional after that, it underscores the thing he did then. Now, as a writer, you could write around that and now have that be a huge point. Like, bro, it feels like you've regressed since the situation with Thanos. And then you flesh out, a piece of me died that day. And for the sake of the universe, I stifled who I was for them because I had nothing else to live for. So for once in my life, I thought of somebody else other than me. Perfect character arc there. And then you flesh out him coming to terms with being himself, etc. You can do something with that. But the whole point of the Marvel Cinematic Universe is not to wrap up one character's joint with a bow. The point is to do something impactful that affects every character in which you can show the aftermath afterwards.
In love for years. But at the end of the day, all of these things are my opinion, so you're completely entitled to feel another way. And if you do think, say, some of the scenes that I put in here are stupid and you don't believe the writing that I put behind it, or you find a scene that you know that thinks fits the viewer effect really well, drop that below in the comments.
Is this one of his videos? Oh, this is a go. This is a go. He's getting sub to. He's getting sub to without a shadow of doubt. He knows ball. Yeah, y'all don't know, bro. Only 19K likes with almost 300,000 people viewing. None of y'all subscribed either. Like, this be foul, bro. This be foul, man. Shout out to AMB 2.0. You got that bell on all the way. Make sure y'all do the same. As always, stay happy, healthy, and hydrated. As always, time to catch me next. Peace.